Hi, everyone. Welcome to this course, Science Instruction for Elementary Teachers. I am Dr. Kelly Hoban, and I'm so happy to be working with you. This little secret is my favorite course to teach here at ACE, so I'm really glad to get to work with you. I am a science teacher in my regular full-time work. I teach a high school forensic science course online, so I am online a lot, but I love the next generation science standards. I think they're so well done, which is ironic given I live in the one state that is choosing not to use them. So maybe it's a you want what you can't have situation. But for the rest of you, if you're outside the state of Florida, you have adopted them as they are, or you have made modifications, but your standards are based on them. So this should be relevant to everyone's teaching environment. If you're a teacher, if you are support staff, or otherwise, you'll get some really great information about thoughts on how to best teach science to get students to be great thinkers and not just memorizers. So love this course. So I like to make videos to help make connections between the directions in the assignments and maybe some clarity around those directions or some options or alternatives or ways that you can make this beneficial to you. I try to make sure that we can use what we learn in the course to apply to our own teaching situations as well. So I just try to humanize a little bit through the videos. So I will try to help you out with those as we go throughout this course. So today we're going to talk about assignment 1. Now, I get the benefit of beginning with the end in mind. I know where we're going in the course, so I'm going to help you lay some groundwork through this assignment that's going to make things easier for you going forward. So, some suggestions will be important here. So also beginning with the end in mind, let's start with the rubric for this course. So if you would, grab your instructions for assignment 1 and go with me to the rubric. ACE uses a common rubric. You'll see some similar, if not identical, rubric throughout your courses and throughout the assignments in this course. So getting a really good understanding of what we're looking for as faculty will help you throughout your program. So let me bring your attention to two of the criterion. There's analysis and evaluation of issues and problems and use of evidence. So note these couple of things there. Notice I'm looking for you to exhibit scholarly analysis and evaluation, to establish a solid connection to theory and research, to display scholarly references as evidence, and to demonstrate a use of scholarly literature and research. Seeing a theme there? I like to call this the why behind the what. And it's what makes master's programs a bit different, I feel like, than bachelor's programs. I'm going to be looking for you to ground pretty much everything you do in research or scholarly evidence. That's the why, the research or scholarly evidence behind the what. The what are the decisions and choices that you're making. Those choices and decisions throughout this course should be based on the research. So use the videos in the course, use the readings in the course, and I'll be giving you some websites that you'll want to refer to for this course as well, specific to the next generation science standards. So the why behind the what is my catchphrase. You're going to hear it a lot. But I'll be looking for you to base everything in this basis of scholarly evidence and research. So that's from the rubric. Now let's go back to the instructions themselves. So in this assignment, you get to do something kind of cool. You get to look into science, best practices for science instruction. Cool. So, but instead of just going out and Googling it, let me give you something to focus on that's going to set you up for success in the assignments to come. Let's focus those best practices on the next generation science standards. I make no assumptions going into this course what you may or may not already know about next gen. Even if your school's using next gen, you might not know all the background behind it and kind of like how they've established it and what the 3Ds are and that sort of thing. So we're going to dive into that. And if you dive into that now, you're going to use that again in the upcoming assignments. So this will keep you from doing additional research in the future. You'll have already done it now, and you can just draw from it as you go through the other assignments. I know, right? So let's look at these instructions in a little more detail. So for this assignment from the instructions, it says you will research best practices in science instruction, and then you're going to look at how they align to your current implementation at your school. So for step 1, you're going to find those best practices. It says 10 to 15. 10 is fine. If you go down a rabbit hole and you come up with 15, awesome. But 10 is fine. Now, remember what I said. Let's focus maybe on the next generation science standards. So I'm going to drop a link to their website in the rest of this announcement. You could get a good number of your best practices from learning more about next gen. So you want to focus, for example, on what is next gen think, how do they position inquiry-based learning? This is key and critical to everything to come in this course. So make sure you have a solid foundation of what inquiry-based learning is. Then next gen uses 3 dimensions of science learning. You'll see they have a logo. That's like a little triangular shape where these all come together. That's the cross-cutting concepts, the science and engineering practices, and the disciplinary core ideas. Get some familiarity with those because we'll be using them as we go. So you could use those as best practices. Everything I'm talking about is a best practice. And then there may be best practices that underlie these as well that you can write about for this paper. But I would focus on those so that you have them coming up. Like I said, this will make sense as we go into future assignments. You'll be really glad that we laid this groundwork. Okay, and then steps 2 and 3 in the directions, you're going to make a table, and this is not as involved as it seems. You make a table, and you're going to summarize your best practices. You're going to come up with a rating system, and you're going to give a rating to how your school or your grade level or your district is implementing these. So it doesn't matter what level, just tell me what you're doing. So you make a table. This table ultimately becomes an appendix at the end of your paper. So the table itself will come at the end of the paper. And again, this is kind of a quick thing. So you already wrote about your best practices. You're just summarizing them here and then rating your school and then telling me why you rated it that way in just a sentence or two for each one. You can have more, but don't feel like you need, a whole big thing for each of those. Okay. In the instructions, I'm now on step 4, which is compose. But this is a really important component. So let me go through all of the steps of step 4. So you need to use APA. I know we don't all love it, but it's the standard that's used in graduate programs. So we're going to get with it. I'm going to help you with that this semester because it's really not as bad as you would think. We have a writing center at ACE. The writing center has lots of great resources, including how to format your paper. So you need a properly formatted title page. You're going to introduce this topic, so a little bit of introduction at the beginning. When you're all done, you can go back and write an intro. You need a narrative description of your best practices. Now, this is number 3 of step 4. Notice it says, with research to support each best practice. This means I need a citation for every best practice that you have included in your paper. If you have 10 best practices, you should have at least 10 citations to back those up. Remember, the why behind the what. You then will write a summary of how well your school's practices align to the best practices you did in this paper. So that's taking the table that you made, that's now an appendix, and giving a narrative summary of it into your actual paper. Then throw in a conclusion. What did you learn from doing this process? Hopefully some stuff. Make sure you have a reference page properly formatted in APA, and then your appendix comes at the end. So there you go, highlights of this week. So you all, I hope that gives you a better idea of what we're tackling. Please let me know if you need help or assistance or clarification or a pep talk or whatever I can do. I am here for you. The fastest way to reach me is Canvas inbox. I am online a lot during the day, so I see those pretty quickly as they come in. I'd love to get you the help and support that you need as we go. So please don't hesitate to reach out anytime. I'll make you some other videos for the assignments coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with this first assignment. Thanks for being here, and see you in the